increasing violence, high levels of insecurity, and frequent natural disasters. Approximately 60% of Haiti's 11 million people live in poverty, and almost a quarter of the population lives in extreme poverty. Haiti also continues to struggle with occasional outbreaks of cholera since it was inadvertently introduced by the UN peacekeepers following the major 2010 earthquake. Turning to the political situation in Haiti, I will first address governance issues. On 7th July 2021, Haiti's President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated by unidentified gunmen in the capital Port-au-Prince. Since then, Haiti has confronted economic chaos, limited political control, and increased gang violence. The assassination of the president gave rise to uncertainty regarding the leadership of the country. As Haiti lacked a functioning legislature at the time of the assassination, the choice of a successor did not follow the prescribed constitutional order. 3 individuals laid claims to the position: Interim Prime Minister Claude Joseph, Dr. Ariel Henry, who was nominated to be Prime Minister the day before the death of Moïse, and Joseph Lambert, then President of Haiti's Senate. It was later agreed that Dr. Ariel Henry would occupy the post. The United Nations, the United States, and other donors issued a statement on 17th July 2022 calling for the formation of a government and encouraged Prime Minister Henry, Prime Minister-designate Ariel Henry to form same. Dr. Ariel Henry was sworn in. I'm sorry, I made an error with the date. Let me just reread the last sentence I read. The United Nations, the United States, and other donors issued a statement on 17 July 2021 calling for the formation of a government and encouraged Prime Minister-designate Ariel Henry to form same. Dr. Henry was sworn in as Prime Minister and de facto President in July 2021. He led the country on an interim basis, but elections were repeatedly postponed. A political stalemate has persisted since concerning the convening of elections, as well as who should govern until a legitimate government is in place. Prime Minister Henry was expected to step down on 7th of February 2024 in accordance with a political agreement referred to as the December 21 Accord. But in addition to wider concerns regarding the level of consensus garnered around the December 21 Accord, he opted to remain in office to plan the holding of elections by August 2025. This posture, however, sparked violent protests, with thousands demanding his resignation. At the 46th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM, held in February 2024 in Guyana, there was an engagement with Prime Minister Henry and international partners on the crisis in Haiti and the need to act to resolve same. CARICOM heads expressed deep concern over the deterioration in the security situation and called on all stakeholders to make concessions towards arriving at a resolution. With respect to the security situation, the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs estimates that there are at least 300 criminal groups operating in Haiti. Many of these groups have developed alliances to amplify their operational capabilities. According to the UN Integrated Office in Haiti, BINU, the number of reported homicides increased by 119%, rising from 2,183 in 2022 to 4,789 in 2023. Kidnappings escalated from 1,359 in 2022 to 2,490 in 2023, an 83% increase. According to UN reports, gangs have used collective rape and other gender-based violence against women and children and the elderly to intimidate people. The UN Secretary General described the Haitian National Police in 2022 as spread thin and lacking weapons, equipment, and capacity. Some 1,663 officers resigned over the course of 2023, leaving the HNP, that's the Haitian National Police, with some 13,000 officers as at December 2023, with only 4,000 officers available for policing at any given time. Some HNP officers are also suspected of having ties to the gangs. The country's porous ports and borders have made Haiti a hub for drug and arms trafficking and worsened gang violence. Perhaps the area of greatest concern is the humanitarian situation. Haiti remains fragile and is highly vulnerable to natural disasters. A decade after the devastating January 2010 earthquake, inadequate recovery efforts, combined with subsequent natural disasters and disease outbreaks, have further weakened the Haitian authorities' ability to protect and provide for the population. In contrast to some previous humanitarian crises, the political and security situation is a primary cause of the current humanitarian situation. According to the UN, as at October 2023, gang violence has displaced at least 195,000 people. Gang blockades of major thoroughfares have limited humanitarian access, particularly to the southern peninsula. The UN OCHA estimates that 5.5 million Haitians are in need of humanitarian aid. As at December 2023, the UN office had only 33% of the funds requested for the humanitarian response plan in Haiti. Ongoing humanitarian concerns include food insecurity and inadequate access to health care, protection, and education. In September 2023, the World Food Programme estimated that 4.4 million Haitians, roughly 44% of the population, faced acute levels of hunger. In October 2022, cholera resurfaced in Haiti, claiming some 1,156 lives as at December 2023. While cholera is preventable through vaccination and treatable with rehydration, gangs have reportedly prevented patient access to health facilities and denied medical staff entry to affected communities. In March 2023, BINU, the UN office, reported that 21 health facilities had temporarily shut down or reduced their activities due to violence. Additionally, children in Haiti are extremely vulnerable, particularly to gender-based violence. They have also lost years of schooling due to COVID-19, insecurity, and cholera-related school closures, as well as armed attacks on schools. This level of insecurity has had a tremendous impact on the creation and maintenance of the humanitarian crisis more generally, including the prevention of access to aid on the ports and extortion surrounding the delivery of aid. Mr. Chairman, I now turn to CARICOM's Good Office's role. Haiti is a member of the Caribbean community. The region sees it as its obligation to respond to the situation affecting one of its members. CARICOM has therefore committed to working with regional and international partners to foster a Haitian-led solution on the premise that the collective support will provide and strengthen institutional capacities and build a solid governance framework to restore stability and create a long-term solution to the crisis in Haiti. The Forum of Lead Heads of Government on Haiti, which convenes regular and special meetings to discuss actions in respect of Haiti, facilitated the establishment of the CARICOM Good Office's role in support of Haiti. The lead heads comprise the Bureau of the CARICOM Heads of Government, together with Barbados, Jamaica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The CARICOM Eminent Persons Group, EPG, was established to facilitate the CARICOM Good Office's role and comprises the Honorable Kenny Anthony, Chairperson, former Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Honorable Bruce Golding, former Prime Minister of Jamaica, and the Right Honorable Perry Christie, former Prime Minister of the Bahamas. In February 2023, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, led a CARICOM special mission to Haiti. The mission included the participation of Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, as well as representatives from the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, the CARICOM Secretariat, and the CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security, commonly known as IMPACTS. The mission served as a first opportunity for CARICOM to see firsthand the situation on the ground and to directly engage stakeholders. Jamaica facilitated the Eminent Person Group's first in-person meeting with Haitian stakeholders, the Kingston Talks as they are called, which were held from the 11th to the 13th of June 2023. At the talks, some 50 civil society and political party representatives from Haiti, as well as Prime Minister Ariel Henry, participated in the consultations intended to build consensus and allow for the inclusive participation in a neutral environment in support of peace and stability for the Haitian people. The meeting involved 3 days of intense and frank discussions held in plenary and working group formats, following which stakeholders committed to furthering dialogue on governance, elections, constitutional reform, and security. Jamaica played a very important facilitative role for this meeting. The EPG undertook further engagements and consultations using virtual meetings to supplement physical trips to Port-au-Prince. CARICOM's indefatigable efforts continued unabated and included ongoing outreach to the Haitian leadership and the stakeholders. A major step forward was taken when on the 11th of March this year, Jamaica hosted another high-level meeting on Haiti by CARICOM heads of government, together with international partners and Haitian stakeholders participating virtually to address the ongoing political stalemate. The meeting was chaired by the President of Guyana in his capacity as chairman of the Conference of CARICOM Heads. Jamaica, the Bahamas, Barbados, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines were represented at the level of heads of government. The international partners included Benin, Brazil, Canada, France, Kenya, Mexico, the United States, and the United Nations. The EPG guided the proceedings, which included 66 Haitian stakeholders from political parties, civil society, religious groups, the private sector, and the diaspora who participated virtually. The meeting agreed to the establishment of a transitional presidential council of 9 members, 7 with voting rights, from among the following: the Collectif, the December 21, Aide Red Comprise Historique, Lavalas, Montana, Petit Desalins, and the private sector, and 2 observers from civil society and the interfaith community. With its installation, Prime Minister Henry would resign, the TPC would name an interim prime minister, and would exercise presidential powers until the holding of elections. Upon agreement of the membership of the Transitional Provisional Council, in a letter dated 24th April 2024, Prime Minister Ariel Henry formally presented his resignation. The TPC was then formally installed in a ceremony on the 25th of April 2024 at the National Palace in the capital Port-au-Prince, amid sporadic gunfire that erupted nearby. The 9-member council is expected to set the agenda of a new cabinet, appoint a provisional electoral commission, and establish a national security council. the Council will lead Haiti under a non-renewable mandate which expires in February 2026, when an elected president and the government are expected to be sworn in. In a statement, CARICOM heads of government welcomed the installation of the Transitional Presidential Council, while stating that this represented a critical step forward for both the Council and the Haitian people. Other international partners have similarly, if cautiously, welcomed this development. After some initial disruptions in the selection of a chair or presiding officer and the new interim prime minister, the latter decision having been rescinded, it appears that the spirit of the arrangements are now being followed, including a robust, inclusive process geared at selecting a new interim prime minister. The TPC has communicated to CARICOM that it welcomes the continued support of the eminent person group in its efforts to facilitate inter-Haitian political dialogue. Mr. Chairman, committee members, let me now turn to another layer on the path to addressing Haiti's situation, the matter of international assistance. In October 2022, Prime Minister Henry requested international support to assist in ameliorating the security situation, which had worsened following the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Nearly a year after this appeal by the Haitian government, on 2nd October 2023, the United Nations Security Council adopted Resolution 2699, authorizing the deployment of an international security mission to Haiti, the Multinational Security Support Mission. This UN-sanctioned mission is to be led by Kenya and is expected to support the Haitian National Police, help secure critical infrastructure and transit hubs, and ensure unhindered and safe access to humanitarian aid for millions of Haitians. Resolution 2699 recognizes the need for a Haitian-owned and led political process with the support of the UN Integrated Office in Haiti, BINU, towards the organization of free and fair legislative and presidential elections. The Security Council also calls on the international community to remain committed to Haiti's efforts to overcome the political stalemate, as well as the security and humanitarian situation. Considering the multitude of challenges facing Haiti, Resolution 2699 also contains references to the specific expertise required in several areas and stresses the need to comply with international law, including human rights law. The mandate also delineates various safeguards and requirements to ensure that the MSS avoids some of the missteps of previous missions to Haiti. It is further noted that the mission's leadership would be required to develop an exit strategy to be utilized once the terms of its mandate have been fulfilled. The legal framework for the mission is being finalized with the negotiation of key documents. Mr. Chairman, committee members, Kenya has stated that under internationally recognized conditions, up to 1,000 police personnel will be made available for the mission. As well, Benin has pledged an initial 1,500 security personnel. In addition to the CARICOM forces committed, there are other countries such as Chad and Senegal which have indicated a willingness to also provide troops, but they have not been confirmed. The United States has pledged to provide some US $300 million in assistance, including technical support, from the US Department of Defense. Among these is the provision of the life support area in Haiti for deployed personnel. Once that is operational, it is far progressed, and the required legal and other frameworks are agreed and in place, then deployment can begin. A total of US $78 million has been publicly pledged by other partner countries, including Canada, which has also pledged technical support and funding, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Spain, and Trinidad and Tobago. There's an additional 20.45 US million in pledges made by other countries. In an effort to facilitate the receipt of financial contributions towards the MSS mission, the United Nations has established a trust fund to receive donor contributions, and this is pursuant to Resolution 2699. Interagency working groups have been formed to have dialogue with international partners. Discussions have been taking place on the frameworks for operation, mechanisms, and critical decision requirements for the MSS to enable deployment. An advisory board and a working group for the trust fund in which Jamaica will participate have been created by the UN Department of Operational Support. Ongoing dialogue on the operations of the trust fund is taking place. Mr. Chairman, following from the above, I'm now pleased to turn to the area which may be of utmost interest to the committee, that of Jamaica's engagement with the situation in Haiti. By way of background, Jamaica and Haiti have long enjoyed close relations which predate the establishment of diplomatic relations on the 26th of August, 1981. In June 2023, Jamaica was forced to suspend consular services indefinitely in Haiti, following attack by gangs on the building which housed the Jamaican consulate in Port-au-Prince, headed by Mr. Daniel Gerard Rousier, the Honorary Consul. Following another attack this year, as part of greater insecurity in the relevant neighborhood, the Honorary Consul fled the country. In April 2012, Haiti closed its embassy in Kingston. Since then, there has been no accredited diplomatic representation of Haiti to Jamaica or from Haiti to Jamaica. On 1st July 2002, Haiti became a member state of the Caribbean Community, and since then, relations with Haiti have primarily been engaged within the CARICOM context. Jamaica has long been engaged in efforts at the regional and international levels to address the dire situation in Haiti. In collaboration with the Caribbean community, Jamaica has supported facilitation efforts in addressing the long-standing political impasse. As previously mentioned, the region's efforts have been substantially grounded in the establishment of an eminent persons group and in active oversight by the lead heads of government on Haiti, together with Barbados, Jamaica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Jamaica has also been actively advocating for robust international support for Haiti in regional and international fora, such as the Organization of American States and the United Nations. A private meeting on Haiti was convened by the UN Security Council on the 18th of March this year to receive an update on the 11th March CARICOM Heads of Government meeting on Haiti with international partners and Haitian stakeholders, which was convened in Jamaica. Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, was invited to provide the update to the Security Council, including on the work underway by the Caribbean community to facilitate this Haitian-led and Haitian-owned solution to the crisis. Minister Johnson-Smith briefed the meeting on the outcomes of the high-level meeting convened on the 11th of March and encouraged the international community to provide the necessary assistance to Haiti to enable a lasting solution to the crisis. In addition, Jamaica has actively participated in regular meetings and special meetings of the Conference of Heads of Government towards the development of a transitional governance arrangement in Haiti and in consultation with Haitian stakeholders, which led ultimately to the acceptance and establishment in April of this year of the Provisional Transitional Council. Apart from a strong sense of historical solidarity, the government of Jamaica has a vested interest in the cauterization of the effects of the instability in Haiti, given the country's proximity to Jamaica and the challenges facing law enforcement in both countries. Jamaica has committed support to the MSS mission in Haiti, which will see it deploying 200 troops, including members from both the Jamaica Defense Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force, as part of the multinational support mission. During the period 28th March to 26th of April, in partnership with Canada, Jamaica hosted a joint contingency training exercise dubbed Trogon Shield in preparation for the deployment of the MSS mission to Haiti. The joint exercise was conducted together with forces from the Bahamas and Belize, supported by Canada through the Canadian Armed Forces. Jamaica, the Bahamas, and Belize together will participate as the CARICOM Joint Task Force Haiti, of which Jamaica has been designated as CARICOM lead to coordinate operational participation in the MSS mission. Suriname and the regional security system are expected to be part of the joint task force. Jamaica is also committed to facilitating law enforcement training for the Haitian National Police as part of a long-term strategy. In December of 2023, Jamaica began the first of a series of specialized training for the HNP. A 16-member cohort of the HNP officers that participated in the exercise was trained in security screening, interview techniques during a one-week course at the National Police College of Jamaica. And since then, 96 HNP personnel have been trained. The training program is being facilitated by the Jamaica Constabulary Force in collaboration with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and Global Affairs Canada. The continued weakened institutional capacity makes it difficult for Jamaican law enforcement to share intelligence and to enhance cooperation. The nexus between Haiti and Jamaica in the drugs for guns trade has been cited as a contributing factor to the mushrooming gang phenomenon. Several attempts have been made by Jamaica over the years to engage Haiti in high-level bilateral dialogue to address outstanding security concerns. As the security situation deteriorates in Haiti, Jamaica is a likely destination for criminals, as well as for illegal migrants and refugees. Increased infiltration by both documented and undocumented Haitian migrants, some of whom have ill intent or are involved in transnational organized crime, remain a challenge for Jamaica. It should be noted that two of the prime suspects in the assassination of the late Haitian president were apprehended in Jamaica following illegal entry into the country. The risk for increased migration is higher due to frequent civil unrest, as well as recurring natural and man-made disasters. Haitians have been involved in criminal activities in Jamaica as they represent a significant percentage of foreign nationals arrested and repatriated each year, owing to criminal convictions for immigration and narcotics-related offenses. In relation to undocumented migrants, some of whom have subsequently applied for refugee status, two groups were returned to Haiti and one remained under a special temporary protection regime. They are being cared for by the state until such time as their return or other measures are prescribed. Jamaica also agreed to a request from the Mustard Seed Facility to receive a set of disabled Haitian children for care by that community. On 21st of March, 59 children and 13 caregivers were welcomed by the Mustard Seed community. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, committee members, the establishment of the Transitional Presidential Council and its formal installation mark a critical step forward in addressing the protracted multidimensional crisis in Haiti. The Council represents a pathway to bringing an end to the political impasse and to convening free and fair elections. The Council also represents a Haitian-owned and Haitian-led initiative. With the continuing deterioration of the security and humanitarian situation, as well as the threats of the armed gangs, the Council is commencing its operations in less than optimum circumstances. Jamaica welcomes the installation of the Council and its representative nature. Together with CARICOM, Jamaica acknowledges that the processes will not be easy or uncomplicated, but we stand ready to support the Council and the Haitian people towards the restoration of stability, rule of law, and democratic legitimacy. Jamaica looks forward to the support of the Transitional Presidential Council in relation to receiving the Multinational Security Support Mission, which is desperately needed to quell the insecurity situation which has seriously challenged the Haitian National Police. Within the context of long-term CARICOM support, Jamaica remains committed to advocacy for Haiti, the good offices approach, and efforts that advance good governance and strategic development in Haiti. In keeping with the principle of sovereign equality of states, the government of Jamaica will continue to stand in solidarity with the Haitian people and to work with other regional and international partners towards obtaining the assistance Haiti requires. A peaceful and stable Haiti is what the people of Haiti deserve and can only redound to the region's collective progress. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam P.S., for that comprehensive and detailed presentation. But before we go into any further discussion in relation to your presentation, I just want to take this opportunity to welcome the students from the Willowdene Preparatory School in St. Catherine. Also, I think there are teachers here accompanying the students. We want to welcome you to the sitting of the Internal and External Affairs Committee of the House of Representatives, and we hope that you will enjoy your stay here, and also that you will be able to leave here with additional information that will help you as you seek to advance your education. Look forward to a very productive day for you in the Houses of Parliament. We welcome you once again. We now move into the discussion in relation to the presentation, and I now ask members who may wish to. And we have Member Jackson.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning. I want to say colleagues from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I have no doubt that the children from Willowdene would want to join the Foreign Service after she have heard the presentation from you, Madam Ambassador. Again, let me echo the comments by the Chairman of the comprehensive report, full report that you have provided, both in the written text. I realize that your presentation varied a bit. I think you tried to concise, so I was trying to go back and forth between the circulated text and your presentation, but fell together. Everything, fit. Very sad situation in Haiti. As I read the report, it was a bit depressing. Depressing because of the long journey of instability that you have pointed out, but not just mere instability, but the high level of suffrage that the Haitian people have experienced for a couple centuries now. And even if we fast forward to the latter period, say the last 30 years, where you don't see a path, prior to the last initiative, of course, which you spoke of, that took place this year, that would bring stability. Because what was clear in the presentation is that much of the humanitarian suffering, the economic hardships, was predicated on the political instability that has prevailed over the years. And out of that, well, during the Duvalier era, which is the latter post-colonial period, no democracy prevailed. It was a total dictatorship of two generations, the father and the son. And during that period, because of the dictatorship, in my mind, no democratic institutions were allowed to evolve, to develop, that could cause for or allow for inclusiveness, which I guess everybody will agree, political inclusiveness helps to achieve political stability. When people don't have a means of expressing their views and their preferences and so forth, it becomes ripe for political instability. So that opportunity was lost over that 29, 30-year period, from 1957 up to, 1986, thereabout. And it's chaos when they left, That said, Ambassador, to come to the current period and the current initiative which is on board, which I welcome personally. But I have some concerns, and I'm going to raise them to get a sense of, not to be critical, but more to inform what we can do to militate against further repetition of some of the failures that we have had in the past. As I said a moment ago, the absence of any democratic tradition in the past few decades just never allow for inclusiveness to prevail. In the present arrangement, I never get a sense, or help me if I overlooked it. Is there any monitoring mechanism going forward to the expiration of the current council in 2026? And I ask that question against the background that the Asian situation is obviously a fragile one. And amidst that fragility, there has been some provision in any mechanism to somewhat nurture the transition out of the current to what we would desire to be, rather than to make a sort of post-event audit and then report what went wrong, rather than allow for intervention or assistance to strengthen whatever arrangement that we agree to put in place now to avert failure going forward. So that is one specific question I want to, what, if any, monitoring mechanism in place? And two, flowing from that question, what's the arrangement for such intervention? For example, if there are questions of financing to assist the council and the political work that we would expect to come out of the formation of the council, what impediments, what difficulties they encounter along the way? How intervention, or intervention might be a strong word, but how can support and assistance be infused in that mechanism to ensure its success or to assist it in succeeding? So I will deal with that in the first instance.
Thank you very much for those questions. And I'm really very happy to facilitate our response to it. The first related to the matter of the monitoring mechanism, and I appreciate your sensitivity to the developments which have taken place historically which have placed Haiti in the situation in which it now finds itself. And like you, I think we all want to hang on to any glimmer of hope, which is what we have taken from this new arrangement, the Provisional Transitional Council, and which is being supported at every step of the way by CARICOM. I just want to pause to make the point that in its interventions, CARICOM has done two things. It has been consistent, it has been persistent, it has been dogged in relating to Haiti. Because when you consider it is within our region, it is a member of the CARICOM community. And there are threats to peace and security elsewhere in the world that have diverted the attention of some of our main international partners, and therefore we know it is incumbent on us. So CARICOM and CARICOM heads and the community has been completely dedicated to seeing through the Haiti process. And the second point in that regard is that they have also been scrupulous about ensuring that it is Haitian-led and organized. So even the concept of the Transitional Council, the Provisional Council, emanated from them, and how it took a lot of time, but to actually bring it to fruition, so that was very clear. In terms of the monitoring mechanism, the Council is not an outgrowth of the United Nations or the international community. It is Haiti, and there has to be some inbuilt mechanisms within the members of the Council as those who are charged with the leadership of the situation at this time. So they will have to agree, and we note the challenges that were had even in establishing who would be the interim president. So there has to be some self-management. Beyond that, however, is the fact that the eminent persons group, which has been the basis for our good office's role, will remain in contact with the Haitian authorities. And in fact, I can say that there was a meeting after the establishment of the council with the members of the council and CARICOM heads, and the Haitian and the council itself asked for the retention of the EPG and agreed for the EPG to be retained. And so the three former prime ministers will remain closely in contact for advice, for guidance, and they are supported by the CARICOM Secretariat. I would also proffer that while the UN Security Council resolution itself did not speak to the governance mechanism of a council, but there is embedded in the Security Council resolution a 9-month review, which means that as you are looking at any improvement in the situation in Haiti, reports that have to be done on the progress will also need to take into account. So I think that it should be considered that there's an oversight that would be provided by the United Nations through the Security Council resolution, but also there is a UN office, BINUH, B-I-N-U-H, in Haiti, and that will come into play when I answer the question about funding and support. But BINUH also operates on behalf of the United Nations and still remains in Haiti, and there is a special representative for Haiti. So I think that altogether, there are those elements of interest that will be walking with Haiti because, frankly speaking, it's the only effort that we have at this point in time and for which we hope that there will be some success. In terms of the matter of financing development, well, I translate that to mean development financing. The immediate focus is, of course, on stabilizing, and not just stabilizing, but improving and then stabilizing the security situation. So the immediate funding efforts are geared specifically towards that, the UN Trust Fund, the contributions by member states, the contribution by the United Nations, by Canada, by the US for training of the HNP and for deployment efforts. All of those are intended to deal with the security situation. But there is, of course, the need for complementary improvement in the support system for Haiti. And you also drew attention to what we could call the interlocking set of support, because the security situation has led to the humanitarian crisis. So, for example, we have had reports for over a long time of the number of containers that are sitting on the ports with humanitarian aid, which cannot move because of the security situation and the gangs who have control of the ports. So once you begin to deal with the security situation, you hope to be able to unlock some of that assistance, humanitarian assistance. In terms of the longer-term development aid, currently many international organizations still have a footprint in Haiti. They haven't all left Haiti. And some of those who left because of the nature of the security situation are only outside temporarily to return so that their work continues. The UNICEF, the UNAID, they all continue to remain in Haiti, have a mandate to support Haiti. I would want to, like you, think that there has to be a more concerted and deliberate effort in terms of the donations and putting into place a mechanism for providing long-term development assistance to Haiti. I cannot at this time say that that has been the focus of attention beyond the efforts that are currently underway, because the main focus is on the security situation to stabilize Haiti in order to allow the country to move to elections, and also to now pave the way for the longer-term development assistance. I would only make the comment that I think, given the interest that we have in seeing Haiti being restored to what it can offer to the international community and to its own people, I imagine that that would be a natural corollary.
A couple other elaboration. You're really giving a lot just now in the response. But one of these is, I nodded in concurrence when you responded to the question of funding and to say international funding, developmental. But while that is critical for the going forward, the maintenance of the society in meeting some basic things apart from the security issues. In the report you gave, it says something like about 44% of the population is below poverty level or that critical stage. That is over 5 million people. There's a whole lot of people that is existing on or below the margin. And when you have that level of poverty, absence of social institutions that can achieve some cohesiveness, it makes the security situation even much more tenuous. So developmental, yes, but simultaneously, you have to give some amount of support to just deal with some basic things that can keep life going for much of those persons who, especially among the young ones, can become attractive to gangs. And so what you're trying to solve is like, even in Jamaica, you're trying to deal with crime, but those who come up through the gangs and the scamming and so forth become a constant fuel for what, so you have to do it at both ends, So that is one, the need, not just for developmental support. And, Ambassador, it's not a matter of being cynical or not being cynical about these international financial contribution or support when one is mindful of what happened after the hurricane in 2010 and the huge international pledge to assist Haiti. And we all saw on the television screens the devastation and the humanitarian crisis before our eyes, and what fraction of those commitments were realized to help Haiti out of, in the worst of situation with the hurricane. So you can understand my sense of not getting too overly excited. And the other reason why I'm concerned about the monitoring mechanism and the arrangement for intervention, so we don't have post-event crocodile tears years down the road when nothing was happening during the period of nothing happening to deal with the crisis. I'm happy to, it was noted about the 9-month reporting on the UN side, and I'm pleased too that the eminent persons group will remain in place as a mechanism and was accepted by the Haitians in the new arrangement going forward. But from a practical standpoint, even with that relationship with the EPG and with the 9-month reporting period, if there is not provision that having gotten a report, the EPG, for example, members, all of the members can actively engage the parties to deliver on commitments and that kind of thing. It will look good on paper, but we're going to see what has been happening for many decades prevailing. So in all of this, I'm trying to get a sense that this new beginning has all the pieces in place to insulate as much as possible from repeat failures. That is really where I'm headed. And how we're going to make these arrangements and these mechanisms more functional, because the history is there that they have not delivered in transforming or even mitigating. We see it get worse over time. So you see where my mind is in that regard. And what we can do, Jamaica, I accept it that we can't be unilateral as a country, but we can play a leadership role with our Caribbean partners. And I was having a little side discussion with my colleague here, really ACP, JPA role, because having served in that capacity before, where Haiti is a part of the group, but it has not played, in my mind, I don't know what has happened in recent times since I'm kind of out of that life for a while, but to inform myself and how that grouping in the JPA, ACP, because resources flow from there under we have a new agreement and so forth, how we can get more involvement in real tangible ways that can impact on the lives of the Asian person. But in summary, I'm thankful for those response, Ambassador, but is to get a sense of what are the pragmatic things, what are the deliverables that we can seek to obtain to let the new experiment, it's really an experiment, in Haiti succeed. We need it to succeed to save the state of our brothers and sisters in Haiti. And just in a passing way, you never mention it in the verbal report you give, but it's contained in the written documentation, how deep the relationship between Haiti and Jamaica has been, by Jamaicans playing a role there and Asians who come into Jamaica. Our relationship is deep and it is long, and that imposes a moral obligation on us Jamaicans to do what we can, even amidst our own challenges in Jamaica. But last, so that we don't get too hard on the Asians, when I read the statistics you gave, and you gave it in the verbal report, with the crime increased from 119% between 2022 and 2023, from 2,100 and something to 4,000 something. And I did a little extrapolation. Their population is about more than 3 times ours. If I divide 2,100 by 3, it come out to 700 and something, where our one is over 1,000, right? If you go by population. I'm not saying it is scientific in breakdown, but just a sheer number of population size and their extreme situation. Because we look at that number, we say, wow, it's terrible. But we have our own experience, and we see how devastating it can be on us, though proportionally much less. So, as I said, PS Ambassador, I do appreciate what has been done so far, but I think some heavy lifting is before us in order that we don't see the failures be repeated.
Thank you very much, Member. And I do appreciate your perspectives, the insights. It is one which we share in terms of the need to really treat the situation in Haiti like a very tender seedling that has come through really very difficult times. The soil has really been quite hard and infertile, and we've finally been able to knock something out of it, and we have this tender shoot, and we need to protect it. And that is how we view it. And even as we do so with Haiti, we have to recognize, and I've talked about Haitian-led solution, also need to talk about sovereignty and respecting the right of the country. We want to be sure that our treatment of the situation is always appropriate. We don't go in and present solutions. We allow them to come and we provide the support. And my team and I, who are constantly engaged at so many levels, we are been fortunate to have a sense of the level of commitment and dedication which as a region we have given to the Haitian situation, and which is not known elsewhere because it cannot be known, because our efforts, sometimes you take 5 steps forward and then you take 10 backward in trying to get the situation moving. But we are enormously proud of the region because we have seen over the years, but I can state that in particular, the end of last year, since we had the Kingston talks, into this year, and most particularly since January of this year, I will state for the records that I don't think heads have met more often on the matter of Haiti, almost exclusively on the matter of Haiti, religiously. And of course, these are meetings that are sometimes called at short notice, and is and it's not known elsewhere, but they have been dedicated. And so what is happening with Haiti is also something in which there is total regional investment, and it is the region's interest to ensure that it thrives. And so to the extent that what you can provide is advocacy so that others continue to remain engaged with Haiti, that is very important, and Jamaica has been at the forefront of that to ensure that we do that. I'll say to you that there has long been offers by some CARICOM countries to provide humanitarian assistance, but they had to hold strain because there was no guarantee that when it got there, it would go where it needed to go, to whom it needed to get. So unquestioned support from the region. Where do we go next? How do we keep engaged? How do we keep others engaged? Because we are also, challenged in our ability to respond in terms of financial resources. Advocacy has been our friend on this one. We continue to liaise, we continue to engage. My foreign minister and the foreign ministry constantly, up to Friday, we had a meeting, we had a meeting with one of the leads on the US side to go into details to ensure. So we are committed, and we are not going to be letting up on ensuring that the attention is paid. Where we are concerned and what we can offer, the government will make its decision in very specific ways in due course. But one of the first things that we said, in addition to contributing troops, we also said we'll provide electoral assistance. So we already know that down the line we'll be doing that. We have committed significant amounts I can't give any figures, I don't know them, but through the JDF, the JCF in terms of the training component, and done that in collaboration with Canada. I was pleased to witness the graduation of the first set of Haitian National Police officers who came here, among them some females as well. It was a proud moment and they were appreciative. Our role is not to go in as a force, but only to go in to support the HNP in its work. So I take no issue with what you have said. It is something in which we have to continue to monitor, to support, to fertilize, to do everything that needs to be done by our own direct support, through the EDP, which gives a good sense. They will go in as necessary. They will engage with the stakeholders. They become mediators for them. They're committed to doing that, and through the advocacy, which we continue to provide at every level. At the United Nations, where the trust fund is to be managed, our permanent representative is our representative on the trust fund, on the advisory group. So we're going to ensure that whatever needs to be done there is fair and is just. Just to say that at the level of the OACPS, which I know is dear to you, there was a recent council meeting, special council meeting on the budget. Member Clark, both of you, the OACPS is part of your babies, and there was a special meeting on the budget. And the OACPS is in dire straits, you may know that, but there was a proposal to have a special meeting on Haiti. And while that meeting has not yet been realized because it's still in the proposal stage, but there is, serious interest on the part of the developing countries who are members of the OACPS that even from their distance, they too need to keep abreast of what is happening. They need to keep on top of that. So all of this is to say that I support your views, because indeed this is what we are trying to do by keeping Haiti front and center of our agenda. And there are other countries in the region. El Salvador, for example, is offering support. The Dominican Republic, which has a particular relationship with Haiti, but a significant offer it has made is that when the MSS goes in, if there's any need for emergency evacuation, then it can be done. And so we will enter into arrangements to support that. So there is goodwill, but we will not let that prevent us from being realistic and understand that the challenges are serious, they are severe. But we are fueled by the conviction that if not us, who then?
Members and Member Clark.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The questions posed by my colleague, I would want to contribute to it in the sense that it is a question, or they are questions that are being asked by a country in regards or in relation to the situation in another sister country. And so I do agree with the question being posed. The answers given by Madam Pierce are really the answers that we seek to have had, and we hope that most of what, or all of what she have said is something that we will be able to see in the very, very near future coming into fruition, so as to alleviate or to get beyond the crisis that is in Haiti, and to have those persons who really don't have nothing at all to do with what is happening, but really want to live a comfortable life just like any other nation. I support the situation wholeheartedly. I want to say to my colleague that in 2022, Jamaica, we would have raised the question at our JPA in Brussels, asking the question, what is, at that time I raised the motion, I moved the motion, supported by the entire OACPS members at that sitting, where we were asking the question and what is it that France is contributing to the situation to at least get rid of what is happening in Haiti at the time. And it was left at the time, the motion was moved and passed. The EU, our counterpart in the EU, were supposed to work on their side of it, to the point that at the next sitting, the ambassador, Jesse Jean, Dr. Jesse Jean, who represents Haiti in Brussels, was invited to the sitting. He made his presentation. We voted on it. And it is still, as Madam Pierce is saying, that it is in the work. So yes, all different agencies, all different organizations are in collaboration on the matter of what is happening in Haiti, how it is that it is going to be resolved. The problem is not it wasn't started in a year ago. It is decades. And so it's not a quick fix. And we must understand Haiti's situation is not a quick fix. It is an epidemic, so to, if for better, want of a better word. It is cultural. And until we on the outside can get them to understand that they need to get rid of that part of their DNA, get it out of the system, and start to think moving forward, living together as one. It is going to be a task. But I do understand the situation. It is very sensitive. It beats to the core. But one of the things that we have to take comfort in is that the immediate region, CARICOM, plays a great role and continue to play that role of being a big brother or a big sister to Haiti, trying to get them to understand that there is a way forward apart from what is really happening. Jamaica is at the forefront of it, led by our Honorable Prime Minister and the team from the Foreign Ministry. It is, as I say, it is not an easy role. When you sit in the different committees meeting and to hear some of the information that is sent out, it just heart-tearing, Mr. Chairman. But I just want us as a country to understand that we must continue to work together to achieve as much as possible for each and everyone, because, Mr. Chairman, what is happening in Haiti can happen to any one of us. And so we cannot sit by and act as if it doesn't matter to us. It is right there on our borders. And the quicker we can resolve it or get help to resolve it, it is going to be for the good of all of us in CARICOM.
Thank you very much, Member Clark and Member Jackson, for your observation. I just want to say to Madam Pierce and the team that we are very pleased with the very comprehensive and detailed report that you have given to the committee, and having listened to the observation made by the committee members, it is clear that, it is the consensus of the committee that the work so far that is being done by the ministry is commendable, and we look forward to the continued advocacy and support for the situation in Haiti. We know that anything that happens, well, anywhere in the world, but specifically for Haiti that is so close to us, will impact the Jamaican situation, and therefore we want to be able to be in a position to do what we can do as a committee, as a parliament, to make sure that we continue the advocacy and support for the Haitian people. And so far we are quite pleased with what you are doing, and we look forward to the continued dialogue and advocacy and support for our neighbors. I just asked Member Jackson to give his final wrap-up.
Thanks, Chairman. That it will be final. Ambassador, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I have a question for you, and I'll give you a preface it by saying, Jamaica, over many decades, has enjoyed a reputation in the global space as being a voice for the voiceless and the downtrodden in Africa, in Latin America, and I say last but not least, in the Caribbean. And my experience has taught me that many other countries rely strongly on the voice of Jamaica. Our reputation globally in that regard has given us the opportunity to be a strong mediating force on behalf of many of these countries and their people. During my tenure in the ACP, I was able to bear witness to that. It poses a great deal of responsibility on us as a country. If Jamaica is quiet on certain issues, people are worried. In capacities that I have served in before, and many instances, the question is, what is Jamaica's view? And most, if not all of you, who are seasoned in the diplomatic community would have had this experience, even as technocrats and diplomats which are not political like Member Clark and myself would be in our capacities. But Jamaica is looked upon to say something because of how strong we are. Our voices are based on the reputation that we have had as a country. It is against that background, Ambassador, it's against that background I ask the question, what more can we do as that strong mediating voice and personality in the global space? I raise it with my friend and colleague here in that forum where I know we can be impacting and come back closer to home in the Caribbean, in Latin America. What more, even this much more, can we do using or against the background of that reputation which we enjoy? both as parliamentarians, including myself, and as a collective, because this is not having to do with who happens to be the government, GLPRP, but because in the international sphere, they don't see GLPRPNP, they see Jamaica. All right? How can we be this more impacting? And my question is against the background. Good intentions are great, but if good intentions are not utilized for good outcome, then it becomes useless. It's great to have a large reservoir of water, but you can't be dying for thirst at the same time. We have to use the reputation, the goodwill that we have to change the situation or to just edge it a little bit more in progress. Given your depth of experience and background, what would you say to me personally, a lowly member of parliament, and the rest of us? What can we do in our little space that could just itch it a little bit more further? What advice would you give to us? I smile when I ask the question because I know I'm speaking to a diplomat.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. You say you smile, you're speaking to a diplomat. I myself was smiling as you spoke. I have been in this profession for, as you know, many decades. And it is my deep conviction, deeply held, that our problem is not one of not continuing to be the voice to the voiceless and being proactive on the international stage and doing every single thing that needs to be done. I think, if I might admit it, is that we don't speak often enough about it. I think that is a real problem. I think it comes naturally because diplomacy tends to be that understated profession. So we really don't speak a lot about what we do because we spend most of our time doing things. I'd also add that diplomacy is long. It's a phrase that I use all the time. Diplomacy is long. You can't always count on the fruits of your labor because something you may do in 1 year may not bear fruit, and something you may do is just a collateral. It's an addition to something else and may not be packaged as being attributable to you as an outcome when actually it is. And I would also add that part of our resource constraints at the ministry is that we do not have the kind of a public relations and media network that we would wish to have. We try our best with the little we have, human, technical, and financial resources, but we admit that we don't do very well at it. So there is much that is constantly happening that perhaps not enough is known about it, and our minister has always challenged us to try to do better around this. So let me use one example of our advocacy, just in terms of looking at organizations in which we are now constantly, actively engaged. We are just now at the end of May, ending 1 year of the chairmanship. Minister Johnson Smith is the chair of the CARICOM Council on Foreign and Community Relations. We hosted a meeting at the start here in May last year, and for this entire year, representing Jamaica, representing CARICOM, spoke on behalf of the region in a number of fora. We carry the interest, which is why we went to the UN Security Council and spoke on behalf of Haiti. That was an invitation to Minister Johnson Smith to do that. But in the way we filter the information, it perhaps does not appear in that way. At the OACPS, just this month, earlier this month, at the last moment, because CARICOM is supposed to chair the OACPS Council, Minister Johnson Smith was called upon to chair. And this she did, and they are now waiting for the further work on the budget and on the future of the OACPS. You may know that there are some serious discussions about that. Minister was invited to do a charge to the Committee of Ambassadors so that they can look seriously at our circumstances. I can say to you that when I was in Brussels at the OACPS, whenever a meeting was to have been set, they asked me about the minister's availability in order to determine, because Jamaica's contribution and preparation for every single item was very much in evidence. We do that in CARICOM as well. We do that at the United Nations, where there is preparations underway for the Summit of the Future with several components and outcome documents, and our ambassador permanent representative is involved at every level. Our permanent mission in Geneva, providing support to the delegations and our work, World Health Assembly, International Labour Organization, but also in terms of trade. We are this year going to be the subject of a trade policy review, which is done every 5 years. Immense work has been done to ensure that we are able to give an account of our approach to trade policy and how that has been facilitating and based on WTO rules, and that will be conducted in July in Geneva. Our minister will lead the delegation. A very important work that we do is our advocacy and support for every other department and ministry and agency of the government of Jamaica overseas. You know that. But very often what you will see is that we will put in the facilitation work and the outcome goes to somebody else, and understandably so. Understandably so. We do enormous work in terms of the protection of our diaspora communities, the protection through the consular offices we have overseas. And so, Chair, when we see the landscape in terms of the range of interest, climate change, how we advocate. This year, I think if one looks back at the throne speech, you'll see that 4.2 billion provided through the facilitation from bilateral assistance and donation. So there's enormous work that is done, and we do that not only on behalf of Jamaica, but we do that at the regional level. Last week we were in Guatemala to deal with the matter of migration and development. Again, when we speak based on our position as a small island developing country, based on our position as an origin, transit, and destination country, we are speaking on behalf of others. This is what we do. And I would end this really very brief accounting of just some of the areas in which we demonstrate an interest on our own behalf and that of Jamaica other countries in the region and elsewhere, by indicating that at the end of this month, towards the end of this month, the fourth conference for small island developing countries will take place in Antigua and Barbuda. It takes place every 10 years. We will be in attendance, and there's a plethora of activities that are intended to ensure that we elevate the work and the interests and needs of small island developing countries. And I can say to you that I don't know how the Jamaican delegation is going to manage, because every other country, every organization is asking us to support them, to co-sponsor side events. And it is literally going to be physically impossible for the minister and the delegation. And by the way, the delegation is broad-based. It's not just the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's not just the Ministry of Environment, MEGJC. We also have the university. We have a number of other entities across government who are going to be very present and active in dealing with issues across the spectrum: energy, climate change, the whole gamut of matters that we then take forward to the United Nations and other international organizations. I believe a good accounting can be found in the fact that we have 12 United Nations offices in Jamaica, and that's just for the United Nations. So there is absolutely no doubt about our currency, about our cachet, about what we do and how we do it, Chair and members. There is no dimming of Jamaica's light. There's no dimming of the Foreign Service light. And as usual, I want to close, if I'm allowed, by indicating that I have always been and continue to be supremely proud of the fact that I work with a set of colleagues, 20 missions across the world, to a minister of state, and our colleagues in headquarters who do nothing every day but defend the interests and the rights of Jamaica and Jamaicans wherever they are found. And unfortunately, sometimes we try not to be dissuaded when the one thing that may go wrong is highlighted, when the 99 things that are done are really so significant. But we remain proud of the ministry. It is the work that we do every day on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica.
The PS's answer is not yet complete. You answered PS what you do. I ask you, what can we do?
Okay.
What is your recommendation and suggestion?
All right. Chair, I thank you for allowing me that prelude, and just in terms of what we can do, and which what you can do, and in the ways in which you and in the ways in which you have been doing that. I think one of the things we have to ensure that we do is allow others to see that positions that we take are positions of Jamaica. So when we speak as Jamaica. No matter where we speak as Jamaica. There are organizations in which you speak, parliamentary activities, parliamentary organizations. Externally, you go there, you're carrying the role and work of Jamaica. And we are open to providing support and views that can be featured consistently in the work that you do. I think being able to explain to others at the level of your constituencies and those with whom you serve what Jamaica's interests are, what foreign policy is, what are the relations that we have and that we enjoy overseas will also help. I think there's a huge dose of ignorance around foreign policy and relations, and that they are a natural extension of Jamaica's local interest, because we can only take outside what we really believe and think and feel and is of interest to us on the inside. So I think getting others to understand, even within the parliament, within your constituency, within the organizations within which you work, that how many people know about the CIS conference. It's not just our responsibility to make that public. I think others need to know that there's a group of small island states that are going to be meeting, and a whole set of supportive organizations that for 10 years now we are looking at a new plan of action to see what needs to be done. And the gap, the information gap, that the vacuum that is there around what is happening, I think that would be very significant. And I know that you are well placed, members, to be able to help us with promoting greater awareness, greater appreciation, greater understanding of what it is we do externally to support what are our interests internally.
To us.
Of course.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the members from the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. And as I say to you, I understand why Member Jackson raised his final observation a while ago, and that is that part of the reasons why we invite you here is to be able to get the information from you so that we'll be able to make recommendation to Parliament as to how we can help the process as you continue your great work. Looking forward to the continued work that you're doing and the continued advocacy as we seek to build relationship between our country and the countries of interest to us.
Mr. Chair, I must say that I greatly appreciate it. It's been 2 times now within a relatively short time that you have allowed us to be here, and in that we have dealt with 2 different issues. And I think I speak on behalf of my colleagues to say that the interaction, the engagement with one of the committees of Parliament is significant for us. I have members here who have never done this before, so that's a learning experience for them as well. But also just to be able to share some of what we do, knowing that this is a conduit, and so we appreciate it. Please accept our gratitude.
Definitely.
I'd like to say that, talk about giving charges, but perhaps before you go to, I know we have had our people reaching out to you, and when you go to Brussels, but before you go to any of your JPA meetings, maybe it's a good opportunity for us to, so you know what we are saying, and for the consistency. I know we don't have a problem with the team, but to be a little more deliberate so that we can put it in our records that this is a follow-up from the committee's engagement.
Thank you, Chairman. You know, Madam, it has always been my wish to make sure that on every chance that I'm leaving, because I don't want to go there to give my opinion, it has to be what Jamaica thinks about the topics. And so I would have reached out on many occasions. Ambassador Pendergrass was once. Dr. Brown would have assisted me. And I made sure, as best as possible, to dialogue with the team, Dr. Brown's team, to get a response. Even sometimes there's an issue that it will just pop up on you at a meeting. And before I even make a comment, I will try to reach someone to say, give me Jamaica perspective on this matter. So I'm happy that the invitation has been extended further. And so I will definitely make sure that I use it to the best of their ability.
Thank you very much, members. I want to thank the team up once again for your participation here today, and we look forward to the continued dialogue. Thank you very much. Members,
you're at 9? Or, I mean 8? 8. Could we agree that we could, within a week or so, circulate through the committee secretary the next agenda item that we will pursue?
no problem.
And then thereafter, schedule a date.
I will then reschedule the date.
Okay. So within a week, we must give response to the committee secretary, just so we have some definitive timelines working around.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Member. We'll meet and do that.
Just for clarity, within the week, we will provide to the secretary the proposed subject. So we'll canvass via email and a decision be made. So we are making that decision now. to so decide via the canvassing. And then we'll fix the date. The Secretary will fix the date.
Yes, thank you very much, member. That's the way forward. We move now to item 11, adjournment. Members? Yes, moved by Member Jackson, seconded by Member Brown. Thank you very much, members.
We want you to enjoy the beauty of